Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday the 14th. Before I get into what I want to get into, I just want to. I'm not going to say rant. I just want to let you know what's going on. Um, and I believe it's the. Sorry, my camera wants to wobble today. My tripod is being weird. Um, I think what's been going on with my aches and pains, so to speak. Today's actually going to be a good day because it's weather-wise. It's supposed to be in the upper 70s, lower 80s. Um, the downside is this evening it's supposed to get stormy and windy and nasty, and then my 3 days off is supposed to be. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. My 3 days off is supposed to be chances of severe thunderstorms, basically bad weather, but it's supposed to be in the 80s. Yay, summer weirdness. Um, So the last couple days between I guess the weather and work, my back, and then last night my knee is kind of giving me issues. So I have a knee brace for my knee. My back, unfortunately, I don't have a back support, a lower back support. I have a upper back support or a posture adjustment support is what it's called. But anyhow, otherwise, my lower back has been the main cause of most of my problems. Um, Other than that, I'm just going to focus on trying to do what I can. I've gotten to the point where I can no longer force myself to go above and beyond because of the pro- back problems. Um, so I'll have to deal with that. I'll have to deal with the repercussions of not being able to do everything because of how busy it is with people, plus my back problems. Um, I'm in the process of looking for a different job because if the supervisor can't understand that you can't force somebody to do work that's going to be crippling, it's just wrong. Anyhow, let's get into what I want to get into. And this is somebody had basically said this to me or asked me, didn't say anything. They asked me when am I going to get back into Bible study, and I realized, bing, maybe that will help make things better. So that's what we're getting into. This morning's inspirational read is entitled listening to not to quit jumping ahead, Jim. Listening with love. And the read is Luke 18:9 to 14. And I looked that up real quick because I thought it was familiar, and it is. It is the parable of the Pharisee and the tax collector, which I'm actually going to read out loud to you here in a second. But the gentleman talks about how when he was younger, a a missionary couple had been talking in their church, and their country that they missioned to is not exactly friendly. It's kind of dangerous towards Christian. Or I wouldn't say. Well, he did say religious, so I'll just repeat what he said. Towards religious people, and they were afraid to bring their daughter to this country, so they want to put the daughter in to a boarding school, and you know. But anyhow, sorry, I'm having gas issues. mostly burping. But anyhow, the section of the Bible that it talks about in the inspiration, basically this is what it says. To some who were confident of their own righteousness and looked down on everyone else, Jesus told this parable. Two men went to the temple to pray, one Pharisee and one wait a minute. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead. One a Pharisee and the other a tax collector. The Pharisee stood by himself and prayed, God, I thank you that I am not like other people, robbers, evildoers, adulterers, or even like this tax collector. I fast twice a week and give a tenth of all I have. But the tax collector stood at a distance. He would not even look up to heaven, but beat his breast and said, God, God have mercy on me, a sinner. Now, I'm going to break down some of that. Basically, if you study the Bible, you know the difference between a Pharisee and a tax collector and why the tax collector would call himself a sinner. Because back then, a tax collector is lower than the lowest scum during that time. Most people would accept an adulterer or a robber or you know, homeless people before they would accept a tax collector into their home. Because back then, the tax collector was, granted, he was doing his job by collecting taxes, but it was just about like it is today, where you feel like the tax collector is basically robbing you blind and finding ways to basically take your money from you or your earnings, your whether if he's not taking money, he's taking livestock or something else of value. So, and then the Pharisee is basically somebody who follows the letter of the law of the time. And back then, the law was mostly whatever the um, either the local magistrate or the temple, the religious hierarchy, told you what the law was. Um, and the thing is, and I know this doesn't sound like it matches the title of the devotional, is the fact that the Pharisee thought he was, because he was an upright religious man, that he had no sin, and would basically boast about it. While the tax collector knew he was a sinner because what he was doing kind of went against the Bible. But to give my own, I don't want to say take on the title of the inspirational read, but listening with love. Now I know I have my own hang-ups and difficulties listening to, especially Jerry Ann. She tries, and I shouldn't say she tries, she does a really good job of trying to, and there I go again using the word try. What she has to say to me, and a lot of things that she has to say, that when she's concerned about my well-being, like my knee and my back. Yeah, I need to go see a doctor. But at this point in time, because of COVID, most doctors that are not considered essential frontliners are currently, I wouldn't say unemployed, but they're currently, most of them aren't taking on cases, especially the chiropractors and the how do I say it? Non-essential medicine, non-essential medical personnel. Um, we drove by the back of the hospital, which means we drove on the highway. We were going to St. Roberts to pick something up at the Walmart in St. Roberts. But that whole area, the whole parking lot area that has to do with the um, chiropractors and basically the part of the hospital that was not the emergency room or the hospital ward itself. It was like the doctor's offices you come in to have your checkup for your one ailment or another. But they weren't family medicine doctors, which have separate offices away from the hospital. That whole parking lot was empty. I mean, it was like a ghost town. So I was kind of like, wow, yeah, nobody's working over there right now. So the two doctors that I want to go see, and I don't know if I can go see the one in the hospital. I might have to find outside the hospital. The one group of doctors I want to go see, that I know are in the hospital is the um, chiropractors and therapists and whatnot. The other doctors that I know I need to go see is a psychiatrist. But Jerry Ann, what she does for the most part is, dang it, where's my handkerchief? Again, no handkerchief. Um, a lot of what she says and does is out of love. Don't always see it, don't always hear it, but it's there. Gosh darn it. I gotta bring in a box of handkerchief if I keep on doing this. Anyhow, so I mean, I'm pretty sure that those of you who have been married as long, if not longer than myself, I have been married going on, yeah, this is 2020, so exactly 20 years this year. Um, y'all know that in, sorry, I've been having issues and they're coming out. Um, those of you who've been married a long time, whether your spouse is still alive or not, uh, know that no matter what, if you've lasted, well, I'm gonna say if you lasted 20 years or more, because that's how long I've lasted, or we've lasted. If you've lasted this long or longer, and you have not split up, separated, divorced, however you want to put it, um, there's obviously enough enough or high enough level of love in the relationship that you realize no matter what is said, what is done, what arguments occur, if you have remorse for some of your mistakes and it hasn't resulted in a divorce, um, there's obviously love in the relationship. Not saying that I have been a good natured person. Yeah, my heart might be in the right place sometimes, but there are other times, and I admit to the fact that there are other times where I've gone astray. Not gone astray to the point where I've committed adultery or anything like that. Just gone astray enough to do or say things that just shouldn't have been done or said. Um, Screw it. Full disclosure. I had a period of time towards the beginning of our relationship, that I was still looking at porn. Now, a lot of people might say, "Oh, that's not too bad. It's might be healthy." No, not really. Um, I guess in the beginning, because I still had personal issues with not understanding what a deep-seated relationship should be or is. So, you know, once in a blue moon, unfortunately, my past catches up with me and rears its ugly head. Thankfully, Diane understands my issues from the past. She does get a little upset at the fact that they're popping back up. In fact, one thing happened the other day, which I was kind of like, what? Um, I had one other one other Facebook page which I thought I canceled out and closed down and gotten rid of it. That somehow it showed up on her tablet, which I've never used for Facebook. This old Facebook page popped up, and I had to double check it because I'm like, what? Wait a minute! I thought I got rid of that. Um, it seems that somebody has been using it, but why it popped up on Jerry's tablet when I have not used her tablet for Facebook, and that tablet's practically brand new. We got it back in Christmas time. So yeah, I admit to the fact that I still am sometimes, and I'm not talking about like what I used to do in the past, but I'm still a sinner. I mean, I confess my sins, I ask for forgiveness and whatnot, but I admit to the fact that I do sin. Um, not in the well, not as badly as I used to. I mean, I still have a level of um, still a level of sin, but not to the point where I'm searching for another person. I why? I've got what I need here at the house. You know, I've had I had a job that I quit because in fact I was getting tired of the how bad it was getting. Um, so I'm gonna try to convince everybody else that I was what was the words inappropriate. And I went, not in that matter. I've got a wife. I don't need that kind of problems. But my point is the fact that, like the tax collector, I might not always look up at heaven for when I do my prayers because I know I've done something wrong. I will hang my head and I will claim to be a sinner because I've done something wrong. It's one of those things where you know you've committed a sin, no matter how severe it may be, and you've asked for forgiveness. It's when things start going south in your life, some of those sins kind of find a way to rear their ugly heads. And the only way you can deal with it is to, whether you physically or verbally or spiritually, beat that thing back down to where it belongs. Um, and the one biggest way to do it is with the power of Christ. Now I know I've probably given out a little too much information, a little TMI or whatever you want to call it, and I'm probably going to get some backlashes from it. But you know what? That's fine. Yeah, I mean, I'll take the backlashes. I'll take the browbeating or whatever you want to put it. I've gone through enough of that in the last 48 hours outside of this forum. And I'm at that point where it's like, I'm shielded. I finally realized that no matter what people say, no matter what people do, as long as I know I'm doing right and I'm doing the best I can do, they can bitch and moan and gripe and try to put me down or try to put me in what they think is my place. No, no. I'm not afraid of what will come. Yeah, I might have to deal with a headache or two. Um, I am at that point right now that between the physical pain and the physical aspect of what's going on in my life, plus the psychological that I've been going through, and of course the spiritual that I go through on a regular basis, there's not much else that this world can do besides take my life. And I said it once, I'll say it again. Right now, I don't think I don't think it's my time. No matter what anything or anybody tries, you know. Um, Anyhow, that is today's little tidbit. Um, I am sorry that if I started out in a I don't know what I'm sorry for. I really don't know what I'm sorry for. I did what I wanted to do. I did a little update. I did some Bible reading. I did some Bible, life comparisons. Did a did a confession. I guess you'd call it confessional. I don't know. That eye is now itchy. Anyhow, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and put them in the comment box. If you're new to my channel and want to hear more, go ahead and tap that bell. I'm going to give you a little bit of a heads up. I can be all over the place. I am not your average typical vlogger. I've had one or two people complain about the factor that I'm all over the place from time to time, which is normal for me. That's why at the beginning of this video, if you notice what it said at the very beginning, it says Jim's Mind, buckle up and enjoy the ride. Yeah, that's kind of what it is. The reasons for that, for those of you who are new, is because the fact that I have hyperactivity and attention deficit disorder. I'm not as hyper as I used to be, but I still have my attention deficit disorder, which causes the bouncing from subject to subject. So I have a variety of different things going through my videos, which go through my brain. But anyhow, if you do decide to join, thank you very much. Hope you enjoy the future videos. If you choose to watch the past videos just to get some kind of idea, I would try to watch as many of them as possible. I do have one question for the viewers that you can answer in the comment box. How many of you would like to hear more of my past? Granted, I have videos that go all the way up to late teens, early 20s, so I still have 20 years worth of life to fill in on any of the on the vlogs if I decide to do life videos. For those of you who might be asking what I'm drinking, it's tea. I drink tea in the morning time to help me wake up. I don't drink coffee anymore because it does not agree with my indigestion or my gut, basically. So, until next time, God bless, enjoy, be safe. Have a good day. Bye.